Okay, so we're going to do a demonstration about this little bead chain that I have here. These are completed. I'd like for you to do like a segment of 4 or 5 of them and then come over and double check with me about how you're doing. That way I can make sure you're doing it correctly. You're going to need some wire. I suggested doing like about 1.5 to 2 inch long segments, but I really would kind of test it out. It really kind of depends on your design. If you're wanting to do multiple beads, how many coils you want to do, it's really kind of up to you. But you're going to need a pair of rosary pliers, wire cutters, and then also a pair of flat pliers. I would also grab a file. I didn't bring one home, but I would use a file instead of my rosary pliers right here. And the reason why is because the rosary pliers are going to get larger towards the base, and it's going to add variation to the size, which we don't really want. We want all of these little loops to be the exact same size. But for the sake of demonstration, we're just going to go for it. So I'm going to grab right here, and I'm going to twist this wire going almost all the way around. Okay. Once you get a hang of it, you're going to snip all of your wire, and you're going to do this step. You're going to do each of these steps kind of separately so that it's like an assembly line. It's going to save you some time in the end rather than making each of these little links individually. So I'm going to hold on right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my flat pliers. And I want to keep these twists really, really tight to the wire. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm going to use my wrist and really twist it up against it. And I would do at least 2 or 3, but you do need to be consistent. Okay, so I could take this little extra piece and I can kind of smash it down onto my wire, or I could be like, okay, I'm only gonna do 2, and that was like 2.5, and that was gonna be 3 or 4. Okay, just like with our wire rings, we want to make sure that we punch all of these little coils really nice and tight. Being harassed by a bee. Really nice and tight, and this would be your next step. After you do that, you're going to choose what beads. Hopefully you already have. I have these little blue beads, and I'm going to feed one on there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did before, and I'm going to leave a little bit of space here so that I have room for my coil. And I'm going to make another loop. Now it is super, super important that you do not start coiling that immediately. Okay, if I start coiling that, I don't have any way to attach it to my other ones. I have a lot of extra wire that I don't really need right now. Okay, but what you'll do is you'll take one of the sides that you've already finished here, and you're going to feed it in there, kind of hop the wire so that it's looped inside. Okay, this is where it'd be nice to have a second pair of flat pliers, but I did not bring them home. Okay, I'm going to grip right there so that it doesn't move. And again, I'm going to wrap my wire really, really tight around there. Okay, you're going to have to use your wrist and like really kind of torque it going around. Ideally, you have the same amount of coils on each side, that the center bead doesn't really have a ton of room to move. Some movement is fine. You're going to have some variation, but mostly I want consistent coils. It's really being in control of that wire. Okay, so you snip it, press the rest of it nice and flat, and move it up. A little extra I didn't get off there. And then your last step is you're really going to want to make sure that you file each and every single one of these ends of your wire. Otherwise, it's going to be really sharp on your neck. It's going to grab onto hair, create knots, and you're basically going to have to cut out your hair to get it off. So that's how you do it.